So in Lithuania, there are 5 branches, 4 Lithuanian speaking and then 1 Russian speaking branch. And so the branches are in the 4 major cities: in Vilnius, the capital, Klaipėda, which is a coastal city, Šiauliai, which is towards the border of Latvia, and then Kaunas, which is middle-ish of the country. So Vilnius has the Lithuanian and the Russian-speaking branch as well. And so then the 5 branches are part of a district. And yeah, so Lithuania is its own district, and then Latvia and Estonia both have their separate districts as well. And so the church initially was in Lithuania in the 1930s briefly in Klaipėda. There were a couple missionaries that were there, but then it was occupied by Germany for some amount of time, and then the Soviet Union. And so the church was gone after that. And then once Lithuania got their independence in 91, the church started again in 93. So it's still relatively young. And there aren't a ton of members in the country. And the country is pretty small. Population is, I think on paper, 2.5 million, but is actually probably less than that due to a lot of immigration to other European countries. Membership, I think members of record, there's 900 or so. But active is significantly less than that. And a lot of those members have probably moved out of the country. But as far as other religions go, Lithuania is, I think it's 97% Roman Catholic. And there's also a decent amount of Russian Orthodox membership in churches, particularly with native Russians that are still in the country. And I mean, it's interesting. A lot of the Catholicism is more a sign of like family tradition than necessarily tells you what their religious beliefs are. I mean, the extreme examples, sometimes we'd knock on someone's door and say, oh, like, do you want to talk about Jesus Christ? And they'd say, no, I'm Catholic. We're like, oh, but like, you believe in God? Like, no, I don't believe in God. And so then we're like, oh, well, okay. I guess have a good day. But Catholicism is still really important to the people, even if it doesn't tell you what they believe necessarily. They have strong ties to the church because it connects them to their family, and also is part of their Lithuanian heritage and culture, which there's a lot of strong national pride in Lithuania, partially kind of as a backlash against when they were part of the Soviet Union, which tried to kind of crush anything that was Lithuanian about Lithuania and just make it part of the Soviet Union. And so they hold on to their Catholicism even if they don't identify with it religiously. they'll still go with their family, particularly Easter and Christmas. They'll go to Mass. Will frequently have crosses and pictures of saints and things in their apartments. Their belief system is often colored by some leftovers of kind of pagan ideology and thought. They were one of, if not the last, pagan country in Europe to become Christianized. So even though that was still like hundreds of years ago, it's recent enough that there's still kind of vestiges of some pagan ideology that they've kind of incorporated into their Catholicism. In one example, they like all of the crosses will have a sun on the back of the cross. So because the sun was kind of the like main object of their pagan worship, so they kind of just fused it with the cross to then bring that sense of devotion into the idea of Christ and the crucifixion and the atonement and that sort of thing. And the Lithuanians also, they really love nature, feel like being outside and among just kind of the natural world is one of the best ways that you can commune with God and feel close to Him. And so frequently on weekends, a lot of Lithuanians have like a garden home sort of cabin-ish thing in the woods that they'll go to and spend the weekend there and then come back into the city.